as presented. Thank you. Are there any questions? Mr. Malone?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
Ms. Palin?
Yes.
Ms. Roth? Dr. Snyder?
Yes.
Ms. Janudzi?
Yes.
All right, motion carries. I have a recommend motion to approve the following minutes from February 20th, 2020. Can I have a motion? I have Deb and Dr. Snyder on that. Thank you. And we'll do this one as a all ayes and all nays. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye. Any opposition to the minutes? Okay, the motion's carried. Please note that the board has foregone any presentations for this meeting in the interest of time. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. McCooley for the report of the superintendent.
So I'm going to keep it very brief. All I have is a thank you to all of the board members, staff, parents, and students for being patient in this trying time. I think that we were very prepared for this. I think that our students are still benefiting from doing the online learning forms right now, and our staff and students have been extremely patient. So thank you to everyone. Any concerns, just please contacting me or the school collectively, and once again, thank you.
Okay, next up, item 10 is the residents forum, agenda items only. The Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express with each statement made by a participant limited to 3 minutes as cited in policy 0167. The public may comment on any item on the agenda at this time. General public comment will occur later in the meeting. There's no one at the meeting right now in public. I am opening it up to the folks on the GoToMeeting link. Are there any questions from the public online? I hear no questions from the public online now. We're going to move on to board work session.
So I have two things for the board work session. There are policies that are up for revision or that are new policies for first reading. Two that are up for revision need some board input. The first is policy 0152 entitled Board Officers. The selection is either option 1 or 2. Option 1 is when you're voting for your officers of president or vice president, you literally write on a handwritten ballot and hand that to the board secretary. That would be something new that we don't do. Option 2 is that we vote the way that we typically have, and that's verbally. So if anyone wants to change it to a paper ballot, please speak up now. Okay, we'll leave it as is. And then the other was just to bring to your attention, policy 7243, supervisor of construction. If you read through that, there is an option to fill in the blank. That could typically be the BA or the superintendent. We have historically used that being the architect, and that's with construction projects, and we found that to be very successful with a check and balance. So I'm going to fill an architect for all of those, and if anyone has an objection to that, please let me know, but that's something that we've found to be very helpful and successful in the past.
And guys, please understand on that policy that it does not permit the architect to approve change orders that impact the financials. Only change orders that have no financial impact would they be able to approve as they currently do.
All right, so I just wanted to draw your attention to those two policies, and that is all we have for the work session.
Okay, recommend motion to approve finance items A through Q. Can I have a motion? I have John and Deb. Are there any questions? Okay, we're going to a roll call vote. Mr. Malone?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
Ms. Palin?
Yes.
Ms. Roth,
Yes.
Dr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman,
Yes.
and Ms. Januzzi. Motion's carried. Moving on, we need a motion to approve finance item R. This is the budget for this year. Can I have a motion? I'm sorry, did I have a second? Thank you. Okay, any questions on the budget? All right, roll call, Mr. Malone,
Yes.
Mr. Key,
Yes.
Ms. Palin,
Yes.
Ms. Roth,
Yes.
Dr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman,
Yes.
and Ms. Januzzi. Thank you, that motion carries. And I want to quickly give a big shout out to our Assistant Business Administrator, John Yates, and my admin team for helping put that budget together. You did a fantastic job. We have recommendation, we're moving on to recommend motion to approve finance item S. Can I have a motion? I have Deb and Dr. Snyder on that. Thank you. Any questions? All right, roll call vote. Mr. Malone?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
Ms. Palin?
Yes.
Ms. Roth?
Yes.
Dr. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
And Ms. Januzzi? All right, we're going to move on to facilities. Recommend motion to approve facilities item A, a facility use. Can I have a motion? I got Zimmerman and Deb on that one. Any questions on the facility use? Okay, we're going to do roll call vote. Mr. Malone?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
Ms. Palin?
Yes.
Ms. Roth?
Yes.
Dr. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
And Ms. Januzzi? That motion carries. We're moving on to technology. Recommend motion to approve technology item A. Can I have a motion? All right. Roll call vote, Mr. Malone,
Yes.
Mr. Key,
Yes.
Ms. Palin,
Yes.
Ms. Roth,
Yes.
Dr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman,
Yes.
and Ms. Januzzi. Thank you. There are no new business items at this time. For informational purposes, the following items are being presented for informational purposes: community school financials and correspondence from our esteemed facility manager, Mr. Seth Cole. Moving on to item 17, recommend motion to approve personnel items 1 through 6. Can I have a motion?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any questions? All right, roll call. Mr. Malone,
Yes.
Mr. Key,
Yes.
Ms. Palin,
Yes.
Ms. Roth,
Yes.
Dr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman,
Yes.
Ms. Januzzi. Thank you, that motion carries. We're moving on to 18, HIB, recommend motion to approve harassment, imitation, intimidation, and bullying reports as presented and discussed in executive session. I'm sorry, we did have one. Can I have a motion? Deb, I got you. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call vote, Mr. Malone,
Yes.
Mr. Key,
Yes.
Ms. Palin,
Yes.
Ms. Roth,
Yes.
Dr. Schneider,
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman,
Yes.
and Ms. Janusz.
Yes.
Thank you. That motion carries. Policies and procedures. Recommend motion to approve policies and procedures, items A through E. Can I have a motion? Second?
Second.
Thank you. Are there any questions? All right, roll call vote. Mr. Malone?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
Ms. Palin?
Yes.
Ms. Roth?
Yes.
Dr. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
And Ms. Janusz. That motion carries. The following items are being presented for informational purposes: the enrollment attendance reports, health office reports, suspension reports, and fire and emergency drill reports. Item 20 is public comment. The floor is now open to members of the public. The Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express, with each statement made by a participant limited to 3 minutes as cited in policy 0167. There is a sign-in sheet located on the podium. Please sign in before you speak. There's nobody present. Mr. Cole, did you have any public comment?
No.
Mr. Cole chooses not to speak right now. I'm going to go over to our GOAT meeting to see if there's anybody on here. Inviting members of the public through the GoTo meeting app to participate in public comment. Is there anyone there? Okay, seeing that there are no members of the public for public comment, we're going to move on to the next item, board forum. I'm just going to go in the order that we're taking roll call. Mr. Malone, do you have anything?
Just want to thank everyone for participating. Thank you for all what you
Thank you, Mr. Malone. Mr. Key?
I was going to echo that.
10-4, Ms. Palin?
Everything I have to say is I hope this comes through regular,
I think we all agree with that sentiment, Ms. Palin. Ms. Roth, do you have anything?
I do not know, but just
I'm sorry, go ahead, Ms. Roth.
I was just going to say, because I missed everybody's speak.
Thank you, Ms. Palin.
I'm sorry, Ms. Roth, you were saying.
I was just continuing with everyone else's inputs. Thanks for all the hard work put in. And these are unprecedented times.
Absolutely. Dr. Schneider?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Zimmerman?
thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Okay, and Ms. Janusz?
I would just like to say thank you to Dr. McCool and Junior and the administrative team, as well as
kind words, Deb. I definitely, I appreciate the kind words to the team. I can assure you that you would be really proud of how everybody stepped up to the plate. Everybody worked all weekend long, making sure that this plan was ready and that we had a lot of different hypothetical scenarios covered. And I think we're ready for this thing to continue to change over the next couple of days, unfortunately. So I want to thank you guys for recognizing that. I will share with our staff your well wishes. Last thing, we have no executive session. I just need a motion to adjourn. All right. All
All
right.
right, thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.